Now let's get back to the standings. The Panthers are 3-0. Falcons are 1-1. Buccaneers 2-1, and the Panthers are 1-2. Excuse me, that was the Saints that are 3-0. Quickly, let's go through it. The Cowboys are undefeated at 2-0. Eagles 1-1. The Redskins are 1-1, and the New York Giants are 0-2. In the NFC West, the Cardinals are 2-1, and 1-1 are the Seattle Seahawks, and winless are the Rams and the 49ers. Quickly, let's go through some of the stats and Player of the Week rewards. We saw the first week of the season and the awards, and now let's see who gets the nod for the second week of the season. Mike Evans for the Buccaneers, 14 catches for 280 yards, 1 touchdown reception. He's the offensive player of the week for week 2. And Le'Veon Bell, Pittsburgh Steelers, my Pittsburgh Steelers, and he had 20 rushes for 135 and 3 touchdown runs. Through the air, he was able to pull in 8 receptions for 179 yards and also a touchdown. So he had a lot of yardage combined per almost 300 yards, if not over. I'm just doing the math off the top of my head. That's over 300 yards receiving and rushing together. Phenomenal day for Le'Veon Bell. Luke Kuechly for the Panthers, 13 tackles, 1 sack and interception. He was the defensive player of the week. And Eric Berry, the Kansas City Chiefs free safety, 6 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 1 of them returned for a touchdown. He was the defensive player of the AFC for week 2. Quick stats. We should go to the individual stats. Let's see what's going on in the NFL in passing. Let's go with the yardage. And then it is Alex Smith, 1,399 yards. He has 12 touchdowns, 5 picks. Joe Flacco, 1,119 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. That's a low rating of 76.9. Drew Brees, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He has a rating of 105.1. He threw for over 1,000 yards so far, 1,056 to be exact. Let's look at the running category and let's see what's happening. It is Adrian Peterson for the Minnesota Vikings, 68 carries for 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, averaging over 130 yards a game. It is David Johnson, the rookie for the Arizona Cardinals, 57 rushes for 356 yards, 7 touchdowns this young season. 7 touchdowns for David Johnson. And then Murray for the Oakland Raiders, 44 touches for 330 yards. He's got 4 touchdowns in the receiving category. And we had Mike Evans, like I said, was a player of the week. And he had 29 catches so far this season for 490 yards, 4 touchdowns, averaging over 100 yards per game in receptions. That's 163.3. And Diggs, Stephon Diggs for the Minnesota Vikings, 19 receptions. He has an average of 25.6 yards per catch. That leads up to a 486 yard total. He has 6 touchdowns and he's averaging 162 yards per game. Thomas for the Oakland Raiders, 12 catches for 485 yards. That's 40 yards per pass reception. Unbelievable. 6 touchdowns and 161 yards per game per average. So phenomenal doing for those receivers. Let's look at the sack leaders. We got Mario Addison. He has 5 sacks. Ingram has 4.5 sacks. And let's look at some of the picks, if we can do so. The leaders for interceptions is Alexander's, the rookie for the Buccaneers, 5 picks. That is your stat recap. And let's see what we're going to do here. Look at some of the team stats. And I love me some team stats. The team that is ranked number 1 in offense. And it might be a little deceiving because some games have not been played, but it's the Oakland Raiders. Offensively, they are number 1 with 1,681 yards of total offense. The team that is number 1 on defense is the Miami Dolphins. They've allowed 349 yards total in this football game, or in the first 2 football games. Conversions, this is something that is really effective, underrated stat. You got to keep the ball rolling and keep the ball moving. You got the Panthers at 69% on third down. The Dolphins 62%. Fourth down numbers, 4 per 4 are the Jacksonville Jaguars in 4 attempts. And the Ravens, they have attempted the most at 3 per 9, and that's only 33%. Red zone efficiency, another huge and key stats. There's 4 teams that are 100%. That is the Cardinals, Seahawks, Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Redskins. So the last thing we're going to look at is the turnover takeaway. It is those Kansas City Chiefs through 2 games. They already have a difference of 11. That's 13 takeaways through 2 games. This Kansas City Chiefs team is loaded with great defensive players. That is my recap for Week 3. Obviously, we have plenty of games that need to be played. The advance is in the morning. But that is what I have for you. Last thing, but not least, we're going to talk about getting your videos highlights. And let's do it for real. It's not too hard. If you have a Twitch account, I would like to add you so I can watch your stream videos. Once again, you got to go to your account setting on Twitch and go to that video and channel tab. Go all the way down. You're going to see a little box where you have to check, and it will say record or archive previous broadcasts. And then last but not least, you got to save it. So that is what I have for you. We'll talk to you again perhaps after the events and before Week 5. Have a good night, everybody.